We have Nick in Austin, Texas. Hey, Nick, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for taking the call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So my business partner and I built a spec house right outside of Austin, and it's currently listed on the market for $1 million. And if we sell at that price, we'll profit $300,000. And from that $300,000, we're going to cut ourselves each a check of $100,000, and then put the remaining $100,000 back into our business account. And so I was just wondering, what do you recommend for me to invest that $100,000 to start building wealth?
Get out of this partnership ASAP.
I was going to say I wouldn't do the partnership, Nick.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but that's not why you're calling, so go for it, Rachel. Let me ask you this. How are you floating this note right now? Because you got a $700,000 mortgage on this thing. How are y'all floating that note?
It's a construction loan, and we're paying the interest basically out of our own pockets.
What's that note?
It's $500,000 construction loan. We're paying 10.9% interest.
But what are you paying every month? What are y'all splitting?
We're splitting about $4,000.
So $2,000. Where are you getting the $2,000?
From my regular job, which I make about $75,000 a year.
Okay.
Wait a minute. There's no way that there's a $500,000 loan that's $4,000. You're putting in $4,000 and he's putting in $4,000?
No, we're each putting in $2,000.
Well, they're paying the interest. It's just the interest.
Oh, just
now.
interest. Jeez Louise.
Okay. So Nick,
man, you are making a banker rich, man. You are hooking them up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's our first one, so we had to bite the bullet on this high interest.
Not really, but go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So Nick, where are you financially? What kind of debt do you have?
I have no debt.
Okay. What?
Except for a $500,000 mortgage of a house you don't live in.
Except for that.
Except for that.
Okay. Nick, how much money do you have in the bank?
I have about $50,000 in crypto and stocks, and in the bank ready to go, I have about $8,000.
Okay.
Oh, you're incredible. You watch a lot of Instagram, don't you?
How old are you, Nick?
27.
Awesome. Okay. Here's what I like about you, Nick. You're running and gunning. Like, you're doing stuff.
No,
okay?
Nick's a gangster, dude. He's awesome.
Yes. Okay. Can we just give you a whole money makeover right now? Like if John and I were to invade your home, Nick, and you were help me with every part of my money, not just what to do with this $100,000, but my life.
Let me approach it this way.
Can we just speak in and
I'm going to ask it this way, okay? How long has this house been completed? How long has the construction been completed?
2 months.
2 months, okay. And if you're like me at all, you've long since spent this $100,000. And probably when y'all were fantasizing about it was going to be 1.2 or 1.3. But it's down to $100,000. You've long since spent this money in your mind. And every month, your chest is getting a little bit tighter and a little bit tighter. And you're starting to go, whoa. Right? And so here's what we're offering you. You've got your way, bro. You've got crypto. You've got the whole thing. You are doing the TikTok, Instagram playbook down to the T. Do we have your permission to offer you just another vision of what your life could look like?
Absolutely. Please do.
All right, let's do it.
Amazing. Right. Okay. So here's what I would do, Nick. I would cash out the $50,000 out of crypto and out of single stocks. And I would just put that in a brokerage account just to have, because we'll do some stuff with that later with that $50,000. I would add the $100,000 to it. So you have $150,000 of your money. So I would not go back into real estate deals like what you're doing because it's very risky. And even though it seems it's a done deal, to John's point, when you keep taking on this risk and as the market fluctuates, if a buyer doesn't come, if your friend, who I'm sure is a great friend, does something crazy and nutty and all of this, there's just so much risk in what you're doing, especially if you continue down this road. There's a greed, Nick, that can start to creep in where it's oh, I can get that, I can do that, that. And you start piling on this mindset that ends up coming into just a lot of risk and a lot of debt. So I would just stop that road completely. So after the sale of this, get everything going. And then I would go back and say, okay, I'm making $75,000. I have $150,000. What's the wisest thing for me to do? I would take a chunk of that because you have $8,000 just in savings, which I think is plenty for a 3-month emergency fund. You're single? Are you single?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend, but yeah. Single.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that $8,000 can just be an emergency fund, kind of a placeholder over here. And then I would invest this money, Nick. Do you have a primary residence? Do you own a home?
I rent an apartment in Austin.
Awesome. Okay. Do you think Austin will be a long-term place for you?
Yeah, for at least the next 5-10 years.
Perfect. Okay. So what I would do, Nick, is I would buy real estate with that $150,000. And that could be.
It'd actually be $200,000 because I would not put that other 100 into some pseudo joint business account that y'all are just going to put down on another house. So you split that up. You each take 150, 150.
Yep.
Wipe your forehead and go, whew, we made it on this one. We got real lucky. And then don't ever do speculative real estate again.
Yeah. And I would use some of that. I would invest some of it, Nick, maybe 15% of that lump sum. Go ahead and invest it. Do you have a 401k at work?
I have a Roth IRA.
Awesome.
There you go.
Perfect. Yep. I would go ahead and max that out. Go ahead and just put some money in that for the year. Get that going, and then use the rest of this. I mean, I would look to, get a down payment on a home because obviously you love real estate. Austin's a great market. I mean, it's so popular. But I would find something, even if it's a townhome for you that is a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, that's the payment's no more than 25% of your take home pay. Put a good down payment on a home, and start working to pay that off. Because what I want for you, Nick, when you look up in 5 years, for your life to be yours, not attached to a business partner, not attached to all these real estate deals that are out there and you're hoping are going to sell and that it's going to end up, it's going to end up okay because this deal did. Not every deal does.
It hasn't yet, but it might.
Oh, that's true. It hasn't even sold yet.
It hasn't sold yet.
Yep. And I would just be investing. And then on the side, Nick, once your primary home is paid off, then I would say, okay, yeah, you're a smart guy. So start saving up some money on the side and get you a small rental. Like go find a condo or an apartment or something small to buy to dip your toe in and actually own the real estate instead of doing all this flipping and new construction. Actually own it, get equity in it, and play the real estate game that way versus what you're doing is what I would do personally.
And let me tell you, like in my house, this is me and my wife and my kids. I am right now putting money in a money market account every month. I'm just hoarding cash. And you know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for there to be another dip in the market, and I'm going to come buy your house for $500,000. Because y'all are going to have to get out of it at some point. You can't keep robbing Peter to pay Paul. And there's going to be a whole bunch of real estate across this country in the exact situation you and your partner are in, where you had $1 million dream that turned into a $500,000 nightmare. All you're doing is paying interest, and this machine is just growing and growing. It's getting heavier and heavier. And so I'm just going to wait until I can pay for something with cash. And so what we're telling you is not something that we just made up for fun. This is how we live our personal lives. And I'm going to buy real estate at a discounted price with cash that's going to be mine, and nobody can ever take it from me. And I won't care what the interest rates are. I don't care any about that crap. And me and my wife are going to sleep so well. I'm going to be able to help somebody in my community, maybe even with a little bit of a compressed rent because I can, right? Because I own it. It's mine. And so here's what we're trying to paint you. A picture of a non-anxious life, man. A life where you can breathe and you can go hang out in Austin, which is one of the greatest cities in America, and you can go have fun, and you and your girlfriend can go out, and you are not unable to breathe because every time you look up and you're about to put your debit card down for dinner, you think, I got to spend $2,000 just to get the interest covered on this thing. I hope homeboy pays his half because he may not, because he's been screwing around with whatever. You never know, man. And so we're painting a picture that's slow and boring and that will make you a multi-millionaire over the long haul.
Yep. Low risk, the long game.
Wise. Play the long game, bro.
And autonomy. Owning your life, Nick, not distributing it out to all these other people. So thanks for calling.